Now listen, remember what I told you guys. This is a low spend account. This is all done through just hard work and KVK and staying active, buying out those merit shops. Guys, it is very possible to do it. Some of you guys, like I said earlier, in your head, you create this idea that you just can't because you're low spend, and then you victimize yourself because you're low spend or you don't have enough money, and then you just kind of settle on that, like, oh, they're just better because they spend more. No, that is not always the case. Sometimes just properly optimizing your accounts to be the most effective possible is what matters. It is your own mindset that is limiting you to what is capable, to what you are potentially capable of in Call of Dragons, okay? What is going on, guys? Your boy Guns here, and today we will be talking about, are archers dead? I've been hearing a lot of people saying that archers are pretty much useless nowadays, that they need long-range warfare, that they need a reworking, and like a bunch of other things. You also don't really hear people talking about archers much. So those are the things that I'm going to be discussing with you guys here today. And I'll show you guys personally, from personal experience on my archer account. I do have an alt account that is a pure archer account. So off the bat skis, do I think archers are dead? Absolutely not. I think one of the biggest things about archers is that it requires patience, guys. Archers require patience, and listen, I know you guys have heard people say the line, patience is virtue, because it is 100% true. The role that archers play, which is a crazy DPS, continues to be an even bigger factor when you get into upper level KVKs. And the reason for that is because no one melts tanks faster than a solid archer squad. If you have a bunch of mages in a murder ball, yeah, sure, mages are cool, you know, like they can hit from a distance or whatever, but if you have good tanks blocking and you also have your archer players just absolutely obliterating those tanks, that is what's going to get the bread and butter of archers. Now, archers don't necessarily handle counterattack damage too well, so that's another thing that that kind of plays against them with their kit. But there is ways to kind of mitigate some of that counterattack damage, and I will show you guys some of that, okay? So that's number one, right? One of the main things that I see archers is when it comes down to melting those tanks, which, as you guys see, when you're playing against upper level kingdoms, they have even more tanks and more tanks. They just never end. So if you have that high DPS and you got those solid archer players on your team, it really does make that difference. It really does make that difference. So, and then second of all, the positioning, I'll put a link in the description of my live stream that lasted 9 hours. Tons of gameplay in there with the reports that I'm going to show you guys that I was getting with a low spend archer account. Okay, this account, let's see, how long have I had this account? It's a global launch account, but I neglected this account for like a year, dude. So 673 logins, and it was neglected for almost like a year. Pushing like a year. No pets being captured, nothing. Okay? So, and then second of all, besides melting tanks, the thing about archers, and you'll see in that live stream, when you look through all the gameplay and everything, your timing has to be impeccable. Like, you can't really play too scared, because if you're playing too scared too far back, you're going to miss out on the prime bread and butter of the archers. And that's when the archers are pushing the offensive. Whenever you get a solid blink squad, listen, tanks are everything for archers. If you have 0 tanks on your side, archers can't really do that much, because you're gonna pass the skirmish line, and then bam, you got 30 mages right on your head. Okay, sometimes you can see the players out there, especially players that claim to be archer mains, they get impatient and then they just yeet forward and die. You just can't do that. You have to have patience. You have to make sure you're just playing real ratty. You're kind of playing the off angle. When I say that when you're playing the off angle, you're not necessarily right in the center. You're kind of off to the angles, right? Because those angles could be a little bit deceiving. On top of that, when people blink, they usually blink towards the middle where the main ball is. So if you're playing out on the outskirts, that is normally where you'll be a little bit safer when it comes to archers. You're also will be ready to dive in and center in on those marches that get blinked on by your teammates. However, you do got to pay attention to the flanks where the calves are coming from. Okay, so that's what I would say is kind of like the bread and butter. And then just like brawling, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're going into enemy territory and people are just hopping in and out of their cities, like you want that high DPS, you want that high counterattack damage that the archers have, because I promise you, man, when a mage gets swarmed, you'll get like 4K merits. I'm not even kidding you. But a archer, on the other hand, you dish out a lot more counterattack damage with the archers, so that allows you to just get more DPS in that instance. So let me show you guys some reports. Okay, let me show you guys some reports. So here you guys see some reports with the archers. Here we got our Syn Frae. And this is with the Warlord class. I do have some other ones that are without the Warlord class. I mainly saved the Warlord class ones. The ones without the Warlord class are very similar in terms of trades, okay? The main thing to look at is the trades. So normally for me, if a march is getting above a 2.0 KD, that is a solid march. Above a 2.0 KD on a march is really good. You can see here that I'm almost pushing a 3.0 KD. And I will go in and show you guys all the builds, the pets, and everything that I was running. The Syn Frae has been a very exceptional march for me. Syn Frae have been being benched for the longest. They have been called the worst investment in the game. And I think that with the recent buff to Frae that she got, it has really brought them out, and they have been shining a lot more lately. I've talked to other archer players, and they also say the same thing. Syn Frae is now not a complete waste. They're actually doing pretty good. Okay, next up, we have our Mag Zay. And let me tell you, man, this Mag Zay, look at this, 380 targets. I survived forever with this march. Look at this. Almost, what, like a 3.0? Like a high 3.0, pushing a high 3.0. I healed 1.3 million lightly woundeds with the Warlord class, mixed with all mags healing and also the Shadow Manticore setup that I was running. Okay, and then the next up, you have a Kanara Nico, right? So you have G1, G2, and G3. Now, when it comes to the G4, I didn't save any of my G4 ones. My Fulgrim is getting ready to be awakened. However, my Nico, I was running Nico Fulgrim that also had really good merit reports, guys, like 3.0 plus, even high 2.0. So Nico Fulgrim also a really good march. So let me go ahead and show you guys my builds. So let's go ahead and start off with Syn Frae. Okay, we'll start off with, let's see who's here. All right, Syn Frae. Okay, sure, here. So clicking on Syn Frae, you can see that they are both 5-star. They're not even 6-starred yet. Those will get worked on. You can see I am running the Fang of Ashkari. Brother, let me tell you guys, every time someone joins my stream and they're a little bit newer and they don't know that I run the Fang of Ashkari, they're like, Fang of Ashkari? What? Like, immediately judgmental as hell. Instead of being like, Guns, I see you're running the Fang of Ashkari. Can you explain, like, your logic behind it? Like, you know, like, what's the reasoning behind it? People immediately, like, I don't even know, dude. Like, some people, they're like, they get told one thing and that's it. Like, they're not even open to any other possibilities. It's just, I got told that Syn Frae has to have the gold crest and that's it. Like, I'm not going to try Heart of Kamasi, Fang of Ashkari, Viola's Bow, or anything else that can help get the march to where you're needed. Now, keep in mind what I said. This is a low spend account, meaning I spend at most recently I have been buying dailies for it, but for a long time, for almost a year plus, it was completely free to play. So what I'm trying to say is I don't really have Forge of Light artifacts for my archer, so I had to get creative. So I'm running the Fang of Ashkari on my Syndra on Freygar, and they do absolutely amazing. Other times, I also run the Heart of Kamasi. Heart of Kamasi is also amazing. And I will say, like, what I run, right? So right here, my Freygar is only 5551. Freygar, as you guys can see, at the 5551 configuration, she's already giving you a lot of bang for your buck. So for a lot of you Archer mains that are kind of looking to min-max, Syndra, I think, has to 100% be awakened. Freygar, on the other hand, not necessarily, right? Because her fourth skill, it's mainly focused on what? Rage accumulation and speed, which is all good things, right? It's all, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, it's not worth it. But when you look at getting bang for your buck, and especially if you're not getting as much tokens, her awakening is pretty much just like an enhancement. So it's not as big of a deal compared to good old Syndreon, where you get a flat out 400 damage factor. You get what I'm saying? So those are some kind of things that you need to look at for you Archer main types. Now, the next thing that I'm running is the Sand Lizard, and and yes, I know you guys see the base stats are tough, but hey, it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers. The idea behind this Sand Lizard is sustainability. So one of the things with Syndra and Freygar is they don't really deal with counterattack damage too well. They don't really have HP. They don't really have defense when you look at their kit compared to some other kits in the game. So when you look at this, we have these top three are mainly healing, and then these bottom ones are mainly crit damage based off physical normal attack. You can see here I have a Chain Strike, okay, and I also have a Shield Breaker here. Eventually, I would probably add maybe like an intense Chain Strike to this, maybe even an advanced Chain Strike over maybe one of the crit ones. It really just depends on how much I really want to go into this Sand Lizard, which I really don't, to be honest. Like, this is a really low spend setup that I have for this, that I put together when I was setting up this account again. So there's the Sand Lizard that I'm running, and here is the build that I'm running on the Syndra and Freygar. You can see that I am focused a lot on a decent amount of march speed here, going down the precision tree and also into the marksman. Okay, so I think this one is kind of bread and butter, right? Your Legion takes less damage. Taking less damage is always good, especially when you're dealing with archers. I think something that could even help this March do even better is to take the defense here, the 1.2% defense over the speed. But as you guys know, speed is very, very, very important with archers, man. Because my mages are slow as nails, man. Slow as nails. They're not really the fastest. However, due to their range, you're able to kind of mitigate that and play at a safer distance. You don't really get punished too much for being out of position. Archers, on the other hand, yes, you get absolutely punished for not having good micro, which is another reason why a lot of people that are not familiar with the archer playstyle kind of just give up and just don't really try them. Okay? So, boom, that's it for Syndra on Freygar. Let's go ahead and move on to Zay. All right, so moving on for Zay. Here is what I'm running. It's only a level 4 Heart of Kamasi. I know you guys saw this report up here, 219. Other times I'll get like 100 plus. It really just depends, right? But nonetheless, Mag Zeta are getting crazy DPS down there. So you can see my mag is only 555 with a level 4 Heart of Kamasi. Zeta is awakened, right? And I really do think that, once again, getting bang for your buck, you do not have to awaken Magrat. Now, listen, if your archers are pretty much full and you want to come back and finish off your Magrat, that way she does even more crazy damage, then all the power to you, brother. Yes, awaken Magrat. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying when you're building up your archers and you're trying to get a nice variety of marches based off how many archers you also have, right? Now the next pet we have here, I named it after Sod. Sod is known for using his archers really well. So 3-star Shadow Manticore, EOS here, Intense Barbarism. We got the Roar package. We got the Fatal Bite, Advanced Chain Strike, and the 2-star Chain Strike here. Now listen, remember what I told you guys. This is a low spend account. This is all done through just hard work and KVK and staying active, buying out those merit shops. Guys, it is very possible to do it. Some of you guys, like I said earlier, in your head, you create this idea that you just can't because you're low spend, and then you victimize yourself because you're low spend or you don't have enough money, and then you just kind of settle on that, like, oh, they're just better because they spend more. No, that is not always the case. Sometimes just properly optimizing your accounts to be the most effective possible is what matters. It is your own mindset that is limiting you to what is capable, to what you are potentially capable of in Call of Dragons. Okay, so moving on over here to the talent tree, we got the precision tree here. Bang, marksman. Bang. Right. I mean, a lot of my setups look pretty similar. A lot of my setups look very, very similar. I know some people like to go with the extra normal attack here. I personally like Mark of War instead. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm running here for this setup. And I mean, it's running pretty good. You guys can screenshot it. I mean, the proof is the proof is in the pudding. All right. And then for my next one is my Kinara Nico. I don't think I have the preset saved for this one, so let me go ahead and save it. We got the Kinara, and I normally, or actually, scratch that, guys. For Mag Zeta, I normally run with Shadow Blades. Okay, normally I run Mag Zeta with Shadow Blades. They just had the Heart of Kamasi there because at the time that's kind of what I was running. But normally for Nico Kinara, I'm running the Heart of Kamasi or the Rattle Spear, depending on what I'm doing. Okay, if I'm playing more sustain, where I'm kind of hitting tanks and kind of just staying alive, then I would go with the Heart of Kamasi. It gives me sustainability. If we're going in deep behind enemy lines and I just want to hit as hard as possible, then I go with the Rattle Spear. So two different scenarios here of what artifact you decide to go with. And that's how I like to think of archers, right? If I'm hitting mainly tanks, like, I'm not really going to go with that many. I'm not really going to go with like damage artifacts. Now, listen. If we got a max Rattle Spear and it's exemplar and I'm doing crazy damage, you get those extra buffs to take less damage. Like, all of that stuff matters, right? I'm not saying like, oh, it's kind of black and white what I'm telling you when it comes to utilizing which one you utilize. Every account is different. I'm just kind of giving you guys the insight of kind of like my mentality of why I choose what I choose, right? So, okay. Let's go ahead and share this setup. Bang. Over here. So you can see here, we got the Kinara Nico, both awakened, but there are only 5-star each. Once again, as a low spend account, you don't really have the luxury of 6-starring a bunch of things. However, in this scenario here, as you see, I only 5-starred them each. This is a mistake that I made with this account early on. I do not recommend to 5-star all 3 or 4 of your marches. I think that is better, or better, how my British mates say, to make sure that you 6-star your main hitters, like which marches are performing for you, even at the 4-star. If you're in the situation where you're like, I don't know which one to 6-star, I mean, Mag Zeta is the obvious choice, guys. Let's be real. But let's just say you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know who to 6-star next, bro. Which one is the one doing the most bang for your buck? And that's who you should 6-star next. That's just the way I look at it. Next, we got the Snow Peak Rock. It's a 3-star, 3-star skill Snow Peak Rock. Bada bing, bada boomski. Once again, low spend. You can tell by the 1-stars, right? We got a 3-star though. We got an EOS though. Trust me, I've tried to roll this bad boy multiple times, haven't got lucky. Next up, we got the Kinara setup that I have for it. Now, some people would argue, they're like, well, isn't Nico Primary better? Like, which one is better? Personally, I like to run Kinara Primary because through Kinara's tree, through having the control tree, with ambush, you have a chance of inflicting defense break. And each time you inflict defense break, you have, I believe, is a 30% chance of proccing your Snow Peak Rock. Okay, even more, right? This one has a 47.7 chance to deal damage to the target legion when inflicting defense break. So that's why I personally like to run Kinara Primary. That's how my boy SP, shout out SP, the Archer God, I learned everything, pretty much a lot of questions that I asked SP, and then just my own try and error, play on this account forever, you know. Excuse me. And yeah, here's the setup here. Now, the next one that you guys saw that I was running, that I also run, that is also a great march, is the Nico Kanara. If you see here, I run the Nico Kanara. My Nico is awakened. I do have a level 1 Iron Tusk that I saved keys for the longest time. My Fulgrim is almost awakened just from dailies. I got a Barb Manticore that I'm cooking up that will be 3-starred before the new archers come out. Same thing here. You can see low spend pet. You know what I mean? Like your pets, there's this misconception, like I just said earlier, man, and I kind of don't want to go on a crazy rant, but like don't limit yourselves mentally, man. Like you guys, some of you guys need to stop doing that, dude. Just stop doing that. So anyways, the setup that I have here for the Nico is the marksman tree and the PvP. And you might be wondering, you didn't go precision. The reason why I didn't go precision is because marksman tree gives me the HP needed here, and also the rage accumulation that I need to get my skills to proc faster. I have been considering running Fulgrim primary first. I haven't really tested that out personally. Let me know in the comment section below if you have tried Fulgrim primary then Nico. But this is personally the build that I'm running because it has a good amount of hero skill damage compared to going up the precision tree. This one has more hero skill damage dealt bonuses here that you pick up through the marksman side, and then over here, right? So that's pretty much what I'm running, guys, on the setup. So ultimately, to answer the question, guys, no, archers are not dead. People just need to learn how to be patient and utilize them properly. Would long-range warfare be better for the archers? Yeah. Should they make it permanent? I think it's too complicated to... I mean, I watched Hoaxton's video. Shout out Hoaxton, by the way, for making the video that he did on the archers. Like, it's not that simple, man, to implement long-range warfare. You got to think about the rage accumulation for the artifacts, the range for the artifacts. So that at what point do you make the difference? I think archers are fine how they are, to be honest. I do think, though, that every once in a while they should bring a long-range warfare season, specifically, for sure, around when the new archers come out. When the new archers come out, if you have long range warfare, that's going to allow you to test them even more to see like what is their capabilities. Because for me with long range warfare, that's usually when I got some of my biggest reports, because you're able to kind of push up and hit those mages and like really abuse that normal attack damage on those mages. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna be it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys, if you guys agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know, man. I'm always up for a discussion. Doesn't necessarily have to be a debate. We can discuss about it, just talk about it. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about it. If you enjoyed this video, guys, drop a like on the video. Definitely helps me out a ton. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that sub button, turn on the bell notification, lets you guys when I go live or drop a new video. As you guys know, we got the new KVK around the corner for my TFS account, and currently in YSS we are in absolute war over here. Okay, so make sure you guys sub to the channel and don't miss out on all the action that's happening. Okay, guys, until next time, guys, it's your boy Guns, and I'm out. Peace, y'all.